afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Walnut Lodge Yoga Intensives Foundation Class, Day 3, Week 1. All right, so I'm just going to get started today without even saying anything else. I'm sitting on this bolster. Yesterday we sat in Hero, and that's where I'm going to go here in a minute, but I'm sitting on this bolster so that I can remind you all that have knee issues or that felt like maybe sitting on the block was too much, that if you put your pillow or your bolster on your calves and sit, it's also a nice way to relieve the knees because of tight quads, and sometimes this can be a little bit better than just sitting on a block or sitting your butt at the end of it. All right, so I'm going to move that, and so you can either be sitting there or come to sitting on your heels or in Hero. So, in Hero we're going to take our heels to the outside of our hips, trying to get our sit bones on the floor. So this requires that the thighs not only have a nice bit of stretch, but that your hips have enough inward rotation and your ankles have a nice extension. So we're just sitting here, and we're going to breathe. Close your eyes, and then just feel a nice breath start in the belly, lift into the chest, go up into the collarbones, and then relax. And when you relax that breath, when you release, when you exhale, see if you can let something else go. Actually, I'm working on releasing my right knee a little bit because it has some issues. And I can feel, if I can really put my attention there, that if I exhale and think about relaxing, that I can feel that release. The other thing that happens is sometimes you'll add a twist or a lean to push and pull away from parts of your body that are compromised. And then if you can't sit like this, you're just sitting on a chair, you're sitting on your couch, you're sitting with your legs out in front of you. And we're just kind of focusing in. A couple more. Not long. But after 3 days of just sitting like this, my thighs are way happier than they were before. Just a couple more. And then we release this by hands down, lean forward. And then we're going to tuck our toes under and just kind of squash back into our toes. So I'm here. We did this yesterday. Today, let yourself wiggle in and out. See if there's any place that's a little bit stickier than other places, and then kind of stay there. If you don't have a sticky place, roll in, push back. Try to get that line to the big toe stretching, because that usually is what people have difficulty with unless you have some kind of malalignment. A couple more here, and then release, sit, just let the toes relax. We're going to do that one more time. Come up, tuck your toes, sit back, and then if you can, sit up on your feet. Feel the ankle bones reach towards one another. That's all. Come down. Put your hands down. Spread them nice and wide. And then just lean into them. If if you're not on your knees, if you're on your couch, you can just put your hands on your couch. Actually, you can do this on a table. So we're just getting a little bit of hand stretch, and what I'm doing is once I feel like that is good, then I move my hands back a little bit more. So you can move the hands back, or you can walk the knees up. What's the difference? Not much. Make sure the elbows are rotated to the side, the fingers are wide, arms are straight. Put your attention into your wrists, and then just let them adjust to the stretch. Remember, it has to be a stretch that you can deal with, not something that you're going to freak out about after 30 seconds because it's too much. And that's the thing. That's kind of a great mechanism that your body has. If you're in a place that's okay, you won't feel anxious. You won't feel scared that you're damaging yourself. Might be a little uncomfortable, but if you really check in, you realize that it's okay. That's where you want to work, in that okay place. If you never go to the uncomfortable place, you'll never affect any change. All right, just a couple more breaths here. And then sit back, take the hands off, rotate them. Now, if that's really difficult for you, that's a stretch that you can do 2, 3, 4 times a day. You're standing at the table in your kitchen, put your hands on the table, stretch. 30 seconds, 1 minute. I think we held that 1 minute. That's all. And then rotate and just allow that stretch to push fluid into the connective tissue. You're stretching it, doesn't have a lot of circulation, so you really have to work it in order to maintain some kind of pliability. All right, now back to what we started yesterday. So you need your block and a strap. We're going to do one more day of both block and strap. We'll continue this series. We'll keep working it because it's really quite good. All right. So your strap or your piece of rope or whatever, you want to tighten it down, and then a block. If you don't have a block, just roll up a towel. You just want something between your knees. You want to, and that 4 inches of that block is enough for now. All right, so laying down on your spine. Throw your arms out to the side, and then just give yourself a minute. So I feel like I'm leaning to the left side of my pelvis today. And what that would mean is that my right side my back is more contracted on that side, so it's pulling the lower part of my hip into the upper part of my hip, and that contraction is making me roll to the side. Don't do anything about those things. Just kind of pay attention to them, and then we'll pay attention to them later and see if they're still there. All right. Now, squeeze your block and push out on the strap. And squeeze the block and push out on the strap. Keep going. Squeeze. I'm counting to like 3 or 4. And push. You could go a little bit longer if you wanted. But keep doing this. And then take your brain and feel what's going on in your low back with the various changes of muscle pattern. So in, what happens? You push out. What's it feel like? You squeeze in. You push out. Couple more. In Now I haven't attached any breath to this because I just want you to spend all of your attention with the in and what's happening in your back and the out. One more. In and out. Let that go. So when you push out, if you're not doing anything in your torso, your pelvis pushes a bit forward into an anterior tilt. If you are in my therapeutic class, we do this anterior tilt with an inhale. So if you take your lower belly and just let it breathe towards your thighs, your back pulls up off the ground, you go into an anterior tilt with a breath. So what if we inhale and push out and let the pelvis go, and then exhale always pulls that pubic bone towards your spine because that's how you exhale. Squeeze in, because the squeezing in also encourages that posterior tilt. So we exhale as we squeeze in, and we inhale as we push out on the straps. So exhale, squeeze, inhale, push. Exhale, squeeze, inhale, push. Exhale, squeeze, inhale, push. Exhale, squeeze, inhale, push. Keep going. And then think about adding your sit bones. So when you squeeze, the sit bones kind of tilt up into your thighs. And when you push, the sit bones go down towards the ground. Now you can think of that motivating pelvis tilt from your sit bones, or you can think about it from your tailbone. So as you exhale and squeeze, feel your tailbone reaching towards your face. And then as you inhale, feel the tailbone reaching towards the floor. It'll do the same thing, but for some reason I think that image works better for people. And if you were with me yesterday, I tied my strap on and had my tail, right? So this is your tail, your coccyx pulling towards your face. This is the tail going towards the ground. So a couple more. Exhale, pull, squeeze, inhale, push. Exhale, squeeze, pull the tailbone towards you. Inhale, push tailbone to the ground. On this next one, exhale, push. Stay there. Feel your tailbone. Now push your tailbone towards your knees and let that motivate a push into a bridge. It's a straight line, shoulders to your knees. So it's pretty doable. Everyone can pretty much do this one. Feel your sit bones pushing. Relax your chest so your weight is on your shoulders, on your upper back, and your feet. Every time you exhale, feel your tailbone and your sit bones reach out, and then pull the pubic bone towards your chest. So we're in this bridge, but it's really more of a straight line from the shoulders to the knees. I don't want any arch in your back. We're not pushing up and releasing. We're trying to just add the hamstrings to this position. Why would you want to do that? Because the sit bones have to push into the hamstrings. The hamstrings hold the pelvis in this position. That's kind of one of the things we'll talk about today with that standing work. And the pubic bone is pulling towards your rib cage. Now you can feel your glutes and your hamstrings working here. Now just release that. Try to sequentially roll through the back so you're on your upper back, so feel the mid-back go. And can you tuck under enough to feel the waist hit before your sacrum? And then just let it go. And then go back to the feeling of your back on the floor. I'm almost even. I'm still a little bit tilted to the left, but I'm not as uneven as when I started. I'm gonna move myself here. I just looked at myself in the camera. Our house has a lot of windows. All right, so going back to that one more time, the bridge. So squeeze the block, feel your sit bones, reach to the knees, and push up. Now, get that established first. So your sit bones are reaching into the hamstrings, your pubic bone is pulling, your low back feels long. Actually, you can, if you stay here and keep working it, you'll feel your low back lengthening even more. Now, I want you to wiggle your feet out so that your knees are a little bit past a 90. Then I want you to take your toes off the ground, dig your heels in, and try to pull your pelvis towards your knees. Now what you might feel is your hamstring spot. Some of you might get a cramp. Don't go that far. Just dig in, pull. Feel your hamstrings work, and then take your sit bones and reach your sit bones more towards your knees. You can tuck under a little bit more. So we're just gonna hold this hamstring work, squeeze it, and if you're not cramping, then just pull a little bit more. So you're feeling your glutes, you're feeling your hamstrings. This is pulling. You can push the pelvis up a little bit more without tilting it because you have a little bit more stretch going on. Hamstrings encourage, hamstring engagement encourages your quads to let go a bit. Couple more breaths. And again, release. This time, pull your knees in and rock just side to side. And then stretch your legs straight up. Flex your ankles. Hold on to your knees or grab a hold of your strap. We still have our block. So stretching the legs up stretches that hamstring line. Sure, I didn't need to tell you that, but that's why we're doing that, to just give the hamstring a little bit of a break. So just, if you can, just pulse this a little bit. Feels good. Let those hamstrings stretch. And then bend the knees again. Grab a hold of the knees. And then a little bit more rock. You can get a little higher in your back. Now, add your pubic bones. We're going to pull the pubic bone into the spine. Pull. And pull. And you can feel your pelvis come up off the ground just a little bit. If it's not coming off the ground, that's all right. Just pull into your sockets. Pull. Pull. It should feel good. Pull. If it doesn't feel good, do a little bit less. On this next one, pull and stay. So going back to the work we did yesterday. Take your pubic bone, pull it into your spine. Feel your knees pull into your chest because of your arms. Now you're going to hold the position of your legs, let go. So we're working hip flexors and abdominals. Breathe. Breathe into your chest. Breathe into your back. Breathe high in the chest and then feel the ribs go to the side. Every time you exhale, let your pubic bone pull a little higher into the spine or towards the chest. Now, keep the pubic bone pulling. Let go of the legs. Knees drift just right over your hips, hip sockets. Keep pulling your pubic bone. Breathe. Every time you exhale, try to feel that pubic bone pulling up a little bit more. Feel the action of the stomach affect the pelvis. The legs are just going along for the ride, and now they're just, it's like adding weights to your barbell, right? It's just adding weight, which is resistance. If you feel like you'd like to have a little bit more work for the next couple seconds, let the knees drift past your thighs. Hold, breathe. Keep pulling the pubic bone towards your chest on the exhales. If your low back starts coming off the ground like this, you got to pull the legs up, because then all you're doing is counterbalancing with your hip sockets. One more big inhale, exhale, and bend the knees, put them down. Breathe. Now, if you noticed any side imbalances, like right now mine is totally gone. Because what I started out with on the first day is that you have to have a strong core to move your back. That's why we're doing all of this. I'm not into this six-pack ab thing. All this work is really much lower. This work is really going to support posture. If you want six packs, that's fine. This work really won't give it to you. This work will give you very strong lower abdominals and obliques. Lower abdominals actually being part of the transversus and the oblique line. You know, the six pack is just the rectus. It's not that we're not working that, but we're trying to really go a little bit underneath that rectus so that we can get more of the oblique line, and then the transversus just kind of wraps it all in. All right, one more time. So pull the knees in, pull the pubic bone up to your chest, knees in, let go, hold, breathe. Feel that pubic bone doing its work, the stomach doing its work. Couple more breaths here. Let go of your legs. Knees go right over the hip sockets today. Stretch your legs up to the ceiling. If this is too much, grab a hold of the strap, pull. If you're good, keep pulling that pubic bone up to your rib cage. If this is good, try 6 inches past vertical. Keep breathing. Now remember, your spine is pushing into the ground every time you exhale. This isn't a neutral Pilates back. This is the spine pushing into the floor. Couple more. Flex your ankles, squeeze your block. Last couple seconds, squeeze the block and then pull the pubic bone into the spine again. Couple more breaths. Bend, actually don't bend the knees, pull the legs straight up. Move the block. Now, if you can grab your feet, grab your feet. If you can't, just slide that strap up. Throw it around your feet. Knees are straight. Pull the shoulders back. Let the legs stretch. Let your belly relax. Couple breaths right here. Excuse me. Now bend the knees. Don't need a strap. Put your hands around your right knee and pull it up to your shoulder as close as it can get. Take your left leg, stretch it straight up. Pull your pubic bone. Feel your back on the ground. Make sure it doesn't go into a forward tilt. So the low back stays on the ground. Slowly start lowering your left leg towards the ground. Mine is going to slip behind my tree. Now, as it gets to horizontal, it gets heavy. So you have to keep pulling your pubic bone up to your chest. Now your leg can go a lot lower here because this right leg is helping to pull that pelvis in. Now slide the back of your head away from you so that your chin goes into your neck, and then pull the ribs down and take your face up. Now we're just going to hold for 5 breaths. You're going to inhale, exhale, pull. Inhale, exhale, pull. Inhale, exhale, pull. Inhale, exhale, pull. One more. Inhale, exhale, pull. Slowly. Head back, leg up, bend the knees, soles of the feet down. Couple big inhales. Now, on this side, look for the stretch across the hip of the leg that's being extended. We'll do this one again tomorrow, but if your hip flexor is real tight, then you're going to be able to feel a pull from the inside of your hip up into your back. Pull the knees in. Take your hands around your left leg, left knee. Pull it in, stretch your right leg up. Feel your pubic bone pull into your rib cage. Keep a hold. Now start sending that leg out. Don't go lower than horizontal. Keep pulling. Maybe you can feel a little stretch here. Maybe not. Maybe you're good. Maybe that hip flexor is nice and long. Keep pushing out with the heel and pulling with your pubic bone and that left knee. Now send the back of the skull away from you. Feel the chin pull into your chest, curl up, and we inhale, exhale, pull. 5. Inhale, exhale, pull. Inhale, exhale, pull. Keep reaching out that right leg. Inhale, exhale, pull. One more. Inhale, exhale, pull. Head goes back, leg goes up, bend your knees, soles of the feet flat. Relax your neck, relax your pelvis, relax your belly. Couple more big breaths. And then roll to your right side. And then we're going to roll onto our stomach again. All right. So I want you to come up today into a Sphinx posture. And I didn't explain it yesterday, but the elbows are underneath your shoulders and your arms are parallel, just like the Sphinx. And then just let go. Drop your head. Just breathe here. I want you to check in with your back. Is this okay? Actually, sometimes if your hip flexors are really tight, just laying here like this, you can feel the front of your hips pull. All right, now just really thinking about the pelvis. I think I'm going to straighten myself out a little bit here. Just thinking about the pelvis. Feel your sit bones go into the backs of your thighs and release. So this is what we just did on our stomach. Sorry, on our backs. Drive the sit bones into the backs of the thighs and release. Now do that and pull the pubic bone up into your spine. Pull and release. So we're accessing the same muscles we just worked. Flipped 180. Pull and release. And again. Pull and release. Now we're going to do that same thing with our ribs. Take the lower edge of the ribs and pull into your spine and release. And pull and release. You still get your stomach involved, but it feels different. You can feel this is more of an oblique work from the ribs. Upper back moves a little bit more. You can feel your spine, mid-spine pushing up to the ceiling. Go back to the pelvis. Sit bones down, pubic bone lift. More pelvis, right? Now we're going to do both. Inhale. Exhale, ribs and pull. Inhale, look out. Exhale, ribs and pubic bone. Inhale, out. Exhale, ribs and pubic bone. Inhale, out. Exhale, ribs and pubic bone. Stay there. Now add a little bit more pubic bone and sit bones. Sometimes when you try to do both, your pelvis doesn't work as much as when you do it by itself. And that's because sometimes we're really tight there. So we're just pulling that pubic bone up into our spine. Our ribs are pulling. We're pushing off of our arms without even thinking about it. Pull. Stomach is working. Couple more breaths. And then let it go. And then today we're going to add this kind of cool thing. Move your elbows just a little front of you. And then put your chin on your hands. Right? So this is the old TV watching position. like you're a little kid. Laying on the floor, watching cartoons. You could stay here for hours. Breathe. Try to release the throat. Feel the back of the neck just kind of squashing into the skull. Let that go. Breathe your chest forward. So simple. Now, let go. Move the elbows back just a little bit. Drop your head. Do little yes nods. And we're going to do that one more time. This is lengthening the whole front line of the spine. We're doing it today before the cobras so that we can get a better cobra right off the bat. Now, if you didn't feel a lot of stretch there, or if you'd like to just go on to a little bit more stretch, make fists and then put your jaw on your fist. It'll be just a couple inches higher and relax. I can feel my neck stretch a little bit more here. Keep paying attention to the back of your skull, because those muscles are squishing into one another. You're not stretching them. But if you went to a massage therapist, this is kind of what they would do to release the back of your neck. They'd push the back of your skull into your neck to try to get those muscles to unhinge themselves or unlock themselves. Breathe and release. So all this time we're really just still working on forward flexion and extension. We're doing active work to increase strength, and we're doing passive work to create flexibility. And sometimes the flexibility is just stretching your connective tissue. This is also getting rid of tension patterns. And then release, move the elbows back, drop the head. It might feel like you've done something. Breathe into your upper back, into your neck and shoulders. Just let your head go. And then push the head up and just drop it right back down. Now I want you to go really slowly and see if you can feel the muscle engagements in the middle of your back to lift your head. Just lift it up. Feel the muscles in the middle of the back work. You're not tilting your head at all back, it's just on your spine straight. And let's just do that again. So drop it down. Pick it up. Feel those muscles go all the way down. Actually, for me, I feel like they're below the level of my shoulder blades. Kind of almost where I could push my chest forward on an inhale from. And down. Now we change it. Take your chin, reach the chin forward so that you're tilting the head first. Back of the skull is going to the neck. Chin just to here. So that's just your neck. And release. Just the neck. Chin. Back of the skull moves. Feel the neck work. And drop. One more. Reach your chin. Feel the back of the skull go into the neck. Push the chin. And drop. So I didn't feel any of that upper back. And I want you to just make a note that sometimes our necks get weak because we don't engage the pattern of the neck. We just go right for this. So going back to the first one. Just lift your head up. Don't rotate it. Feel that upper back engage to lift the head. And come down. Now we're just going to put both of those together. So reach your chin out. Feel the back of the skull. Keep going. Yes. And release. And come down. More motion because you're accessing more things. And again, chin. Back of the skull to the neck. Now keep going. Feel that mid-spine place. And down. And we do it just one more time. Chin. Back of the skull. Push up. Feel your back. And down you go. All right, move your arms to the side. Take your glasses off if you have them, and then turn your face profile. Let's just get the profile stretch because we've been working our neck and our spine in flexion, forward flexion, and extension. Just adding that side bend. See if you can get your whole cheek down. If you can't, then put your hand underneath part of your head, mainly like at your temple, so that the angle isn't as flat. So here the angle of my face is more of a 45. And then if I let it go down, it's pretty much a 90 with the floor. So remember, don't overextend anything. Don't go into those places where you know you can't hold. Comfortably and without anxiety. Couple more breaths just right here, letting that right shoulder relax, left shoulder relax, neck's relaxing. And then come to center, and then go to left side. Breathe. And come back to center. Palms are up, hands are down. One cobra. Press your feet, pull your quads, drive your sit bones, press your pubic bone, lift your belly, feel that tailbone reach under, and then inhale, push up. Now here, just push from the ribs. And if you push your ribs enough, your face will come vertical. If you're low here and pushing your ribs, it looks like this. If you push your ribs forward, you get a little bit more of an upper back extension. Make sure you're not jamming your head into the back of your neck. We're not exercising the neck right now. We're just really trying to feel the anchoring of the pelvis for the cobra. Just working the spine, feeling this reach down and into the backs of the legs. All that's really awake right now. After all of that work, couple more. Make sure your feet aren't coming up. Keep pressing them down. Keep pressing the pubic bone. Last one, inhale and exhale. Release. Press yourself back to a child pose. Knees open. Sit back. Keep your arms extended. Now before you go down, especially people that have a little bit of tension here in your low back, pull the pubic bone up and the ribs down. Release. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. If you have no resistance here at all, just go right down into your child pose. This is for people who, after working their backs, doesn't feel completely loose. It feels like you need to work it into the next position. That's actually telling you that your back is pretty weak in those areas that we just worked. But we're getting stronger. And then head down, couple breaths. And then roll yourself up and then let your legs come forward. All right, so we're just gonna do this once sitting and then we're gonna take this into standing. So we've been spending all this time extension, forward flexion. Then we took that into standing. Today we're gonna work the lateral side bend movement, and then we're gonna take that into standing. So sit up as tall as you can. If you have a hard time, sitting with your legs straight, you can cross, you can grab your block and sit on your block. So that your pelvis can tilt kind of forward. So you want to be able to sit without feeling like you're collapsed here because you don't have enough hamstring stretch. So you push. If you sit on something, you take your pelvis and you go into an anterior tilt. Hopefully by the end of this week, that anterior posterior tilt thing will be just automatic for you. All right, I'm going to slide off of my block. All right, sit up as straight as you can. Now, the thing about the head position is that, if your head is forward at all, you'll feel the chest cave in. When your head is pulling up the back and you feel like your head is on your spine, the chest will lift up because you're actually working that upper back to make this head position work for yourself. Take your right hand up and over, put your middle finger in your ear. Now, we did a little bit of this the first day. Pull your ear to your shoulder. You can keep this hand down here. Feel this line stretch. So this is the side work that accompanies that forward back thing we just did with the neck. So we're just going to pull a little bit. You're really trying to feel the rotation of your head on the top of your spine. So it's this jaw thing. The bottom side of the jaw pushes up to the left side, and you feel this rotation on the top of your head, top of your neck. The top of your head is reaching in this side bending position towards the right. So keep your left sit bone down and then go over a little bit more. But as you go over, feel the ribs on the top reach up. Feel the ribs on the bottom push down into your waist. So now you're trying to take the rib cage and you're trying to circle the rib cage So we try to make a circle of the head on the top of the neck, and now we're trying to take the rib cage and and move the bottom part down, the top part up, so that you feel this rotation. It's to access mid-spine. I keep doing this, it feels pretty good, right? Keep breathing here, and then come back up by pushing down. Now, that is different than just doing this. Just do that. So this is just taking this straight line and going to the side. You can feel this hip holding you. Is that bad? That's not bad. Nothing is bad, but it is different than what we're trying to do, which is curl. All right, now we're going to go to the other side, but before you even go to the other side, if you sit up, you might feel like this whole side is lower. Yeah? Left hand in your ear. Same thing. Rotate the head on the top of the spine. Rotate. Do a couple. I'm using my hand on my jaw just to feel the opposition. So if the head goes left, jaw goes right. And then what you end up with is a turning to the left. Yep, make it easy. Stay in this plane though, don't jut the jaw forward. And then stay there. Now, rib cage. Take the right side up as the left side curls in. So trying to make another circle right here in the rib cage. Curl it over. Yes. Feel the shoulder blade. Pull down. Feel the ribs. Pull down. Feel the right side. Go up. One more time. Go over. Stay there. Breathe right here. Pushing this up. One more. Press down, come up. And then just feel how different that is than just going side bend. Side bend. You can actually just see my spine is straight, and I'm taking this movement all just from my pelvis. And I have to anchor this right side because my torso is going so far to the side. All right. Now we're going to do that standing. Just that same thing. Come forward, tuck your toes, press back. Just a couple of big inhales here. Now my knees are soft, and I'm just rocking back and forth, hands to feet, feeling my sit bones going up to the ceiling. So I'm trying to push my pelvis into my thighs. Anterior tilt. Secret to forward bending. All right, now just move your weight over your feet. Working the same way that we worked yesterday. You're gonna put your hands on your back, then take your sit bones and push them down into the backs of your legs. And stop when your pelvis is vertical. Knees are soft. Keep your hands there. Now let your pelvis go. Feel it tilt forward on your legs. Now this is all hamstring and glute. Drive the sit bones down. Feel the connection of the hamstrings work to upright the pelvis. Stay curved. And one more time. Just let it go. And again, tailbone down, pelvis is vertical. Stay right there. Switch your attention to the front. Now pull your belly up and in. And you can feel like you're just hanging over something. And then stack yourself vertebrae, 5 vertebrae, all the way up to vertical. All right. So our feet are going to be right underneath our hips. 3 points of the feet even. Base of the big toe, base of the little toe, inside of the heel. All right. Press. Sit bones down. Sit bones down. And as you push the sit bones down, the front of the hips go forward a bit. Make sure you're not curving, arching your back. Make sure, this is probably the best thing, make sure that your pelvis is not tilting forward and you're arching your back, or you're pressing your pelvis so far forward that you're jamming into the back. One of the images from modern dance that I always really liked is tailbones down, and imagine you have no legs. If somebody put your butt on a plate, then your sit bones would be the base, and if you move the sit bones forward, the whole torso goes forward. There's no kink in the back. You're just taking the whole thing with you forward. You can take it back, right? Because you're moving from the base of your pelvis. All right, coming back to the front, just to experience that side bend. Pressing down through the legs evenly. So when we're sitting, our pelvis is the base, now our feet are the base. Take your right hand up and over, finger in your ear. Now, jaw to the left, head to the right. Feel a breath here in your neck. And then take the bottom edge of your ribs in and the left side of the ribs up. Trying to feel the circle of your rib cage. Keep pressing down into that left foot. So we're trying to curl our head into our waist. And we're using these different segments so that we can get as much motion out of each part that we can. We're not leaning. This bottom side is pulling back and up and in. So actually the weight keeps transferring from the lower side back and up and in to your center. Now just get to where you're going to go. Breathe into the ribs. Breathe into the neck. You'll feel that left side of your back stretching. Make sure your sit bones are pushing down. I have my hand on my sacrum. Breathe into that left side, or you can put your hand here. Breathing up. Breathing up. Now push down with that left hand. Sequentially recover the vertical. Head goes last. Take your hand away. Left side feels lower. We're just trying to get as much as we can out of each segment of the spine. And as we do that, each segment becomes more mobile and stronger. Left arm goes up and into the ear. Same thing to the left. So our jaw swings to the right as our head goes to the left. Press that down. Press that right shoulder down. Feel that stretch in the shoulder going down to the point of the top of the shoulder. Now, take the ribs on that left side, pull them up and in as the ribs on the top side lift to the ceiling. So breathe the ribs on the right up to the ceiling. Feel the ribs on the left pulling in to your spine. So you feel this circle. Keep your tailbone pressing down, and then really just find that breath. Keep pressing through the feet. Keep feeling that circle of the rib cage going up and in. Keep the neck relaxed. If you find you can go further, just go further. But you should feel this circle pulling back and in to the spine. Feels good. Pressing down through the right side, sequentially up the spine, head is last. Stand vertical, feels pretty good. Drop your chin into your chest, pull your belly up, and then we're just going to roll down. Knees are soft, Keep this lifted. Keep curling over. Feel the low back stretch. As you get to kind of about here, you can really feel that area. It's a triangle, really, or not a triangle. It's a diamond from your tailbone to your hips and then back to the spine. There's a giant piece of fascia there. Keep your sit bones connected to your legs. Keep this energy going up the front for a couple more breaths. And then we're going to let the pelvis rotate on the legs. Hands down. Come on down to sitting on your shins or not. All right, I'm out of time. But how we're gonna end is I'm gonna just start this. It's called Nadi Shodhana. It's alternate nostril breathing, and it's very relaxing. It's very balancing, and if you can keep this going for the next 5 minutes, you just keep going. I'm gonna say namaste, start it, and then we're just gonna click off of our stream. So I'm going to do 2 rounds. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Close off the right nostril and inhale through the left. Close off the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close off the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close off the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close off the right. Exhale through the left. Keep going. Namaste.